for coming in today.
That's right.
Hi guys, we have the very first D&A Alumni podcast. We've got Matthew Beattie in to talk to us today and tell us a bit about his story. Ready to get started, Matthew?
Yep.
Perfect. So we've got some questions for you, Matthew, and we've got a little bit of fun segment at the end, okay?
Perfect, okay.
First question, we want to know about your journey. So when you came into D&A, how did you come to D&A? What was the journey like and how did you get to where you are now?
Okay, so my journey sort of started as soon as I left school. I didn't have the qualifications to go straight into uni, but I knew that sport and fitness was the area I wanted to go into. So I looked at the courses and I put an application in for HNC Sports Development and Coaching. So I got in on the course, and then within about 2 months I managed to get a job here as well in the sports union. So once I finished HNC, I went into HND for my last year, and at the same time I did Nat 5 maths as well, because I didn't get that at school. So I decided to do that at the same time. And I've had a few different jobs at college as well up to now.
So quite a busy schedule in terms of your studies.
Yeah, definitely.
You decided to be a good job to take on a job as well.
Yeah.
So what was your first job in the sports union? I remember you coming on board with myself and Craig.
Yeah.
What was your first job?
My first job was tennis coordinator in the sports union. And it was, I remember my first day was with you actually in the atrium playing tennis. Yeah. So that was fun. That was a weekly tennis thing that ran, and we gave tennis sessions to students.
And how did your progression from that job into the job you're in? What's the job you're in now? What's the title of the job?
Sport and fitness attendant in the sports department.
What was that journey like in terms of from the tennis coordinator to where you are now?
So I basically all started from when I first joined. So I think the tennis coordinator job, really helped my skills in that and sort of helped me develop as a coach outside of the course. It allowed me to, apply the skills that I'd learned. And then COVID hit, and then the sports union sort of ended. And then another job came up in learner engagement, which was still, working with you in that. And then a job came up in sport and fitness. I think it was coming up for a year ago now. So I applied for that. And yeah, I'm still there now, working with really fun people.
Yeah, perfect. Enjoying your job?
I love it, yeah, it's really fun.
Well, it makes a big difference, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Now, obviously being from a sports and fitness background, myself, we were both sports and fitness learners at the college. There's lots of characters in the class,
Yeah.
What kind of character were you? A bit of a class clown, were you a quiet learner?
So in my first year HNC level, I didn't know anybody at all, not one person in my course, which was weird. Sort of, you had 6 years at school where you all knew each other, and then you're thrown in this situation where you don't know anybody at all. The worst part about it was people in that class, or sort of course, a lot of them already knew each other because they were progressing from advanced or certificate. They'd been there for a couple of years at college already, so they had good friendships and they had good knowledge of course content. So I was pretty quiet. But at the end of that year, I sort of, you'd sort of caught up in terms of the way courses ran, the way assessments are done in that, and your basic knowledge has increased. When you go to study sport and fitness, it's totally different from what you learn at higher at school. So that was quite a big difference. So I was pretty quiet, and then sort of at the end of HNC and the HND, I sort of, to become more myself, you'd meet people. So the social interactions were there. So I became, the sort of person I am today, sort of, just not afraid to speak and that sort of thing. So
you found yourself, you grew in confidence through the course?
Yeah, definitely.
Good. During your college studies, obviously you're still at university now, but during your college studies, were you motivated during your course, and if so, what kept you motivated?
The main thing that kept me motivated was sort of, it was in the back of my head that I knew that if I fail this was it. There was no sort of second chance. So that was the thing that really motivated me. Another thing that motivated me was sort of the people that you're with on your course. People sort of think, sport and fitness is easy. You kick a ball about and you get a qualification. That's a general idea what people have, but it's not. Very rarely you're in a sports hall getting to just muck about. But it was sort of. What was your question? Can't remember your question.
So what motivated you? Said you talked about
that's what it was. So at that level, you're all grouped together, and you bounce off each other. The rule for us was, egos and rivalries were put aside when somebody needs help. So if you were to need help, right, and say I wasn't a big fan of you, or we had a bit of rivalry, I would help you because I knew for a fact that I would need help at some point on that course, and that was an important thing.
Yeah.
We all sort of bounced off each other.
I think that's massively important because when I was at college, it's a difficult one in sports because there is that natural competitiveness there. For sports people, we're in a course where you're competing every single day, so it's part of your natural tendency. A lot of the time, not all the time, but a lot of the time. Because sometimes you get people from individual sporting backgrounds, like myself, from a judo background. So I didn't have that kind of team competitiveness, but I was still competitive. But when I went to college, I was very much the same. I came back as a mature learner. I was mature. I was 21, but everyone else in the class was like 18. I felt like a granddad, And the technology changed a lot from when I was at school because it was like almost BBC computers when I was at school to all, and it was Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Word, and I was lost, And I felt out of my depth. And all these younger kids were like whizzes at these things, and I felt kind of lost and I was trying to catch up. And we didn't have that spirit that you had, which sounds fantastic. I would have loved to have that where I was supportive. I was very much dog eat dog, and it was the egos were too big to allow anyone to actually work together. There were small groups, but those groups stuck together very firmly. And didn't work together unless they were forced to in session, so it's good that you had that.
Our class was sort of the similar, so what you're saying is like with the group thing, but we always sort of broke out of them when somebody needed help. It would have been very, very easily for us to just sit there and go, well, I want to be the best, so I'm not going to help them. Anybody could have done that, but just you knew in the back of your mind that, well, what if I was in that situation and needed help? That was always the overriding thought.
It's something I say when I go visit classes as part of our social education portfolio. I say, look, when you're at college, your classmates, but the minute that course finishes, your competition. There's not that many jobs out there for every single student.
No, exactly.
So it's what you do at college that separates you from the rest of the pack. And I think that's important to understand. I think sports students are very clear of that because they're always looking to win or achieve the next goal. So it's definitely an interesting kind of atmosphere in a sports course here for sure. I know it's going to be sports courses. There's fun and games all the time. Some of the demands are quite high. Contrary to popular belief, it's not just playing football. There's quite a lot of theory.
As much as we'd like it to be.
Try and study anatomy and try and figure out how you can work around with that sort of stuff. Everybody dreads anatomy. Unless I quite enjoyed it, but I'm quite unusual in that sense. But anatomy is tough, But do you have any funny stories from when you were at college?
I've got funny stories from when I was a student and from working here as well. There was one time in my Nat 5 maths course, there was a woman who was on the course and she had a guide dog. She was a guide dog trainer. So this guide dog, Warwick, who was a white lab in training, we used to call him, he was a guide dog puppy, but he was anything but a puppy. He was huge. He was a normal sized dog. So we were coming out the lift one night because we were studying upstairs, so we're coming down, and when you're at Gardyne, you come out the lift, you can either go right to the student car park or left to the staff car park, and me and her had parked in the staff car park. So we got out the lift and I had Warwick on his lead, and our classmates were walking to the right hand side, and I was walking with the dog who's this tall, it's huge, and we were saying bye, see you later, see you next week, right? So I was doing that, and as soon as I turn around, there's this big pillar, right, as you're leaving the campus. So I turn around like that, and the wall is right in my face like that. This guide dog has walked me into a wall, and it was so funny. We were nearly on the floor. It was so funny, but it wasn't his fault. I mean, he knew he knew that I wasn't blind and and he didn't have his coat on. So when guide dogs got their coat on, that's when they're working.
Like
but when it's off, they're a normal dog.
Incredibly intelligent.
Amazing.
Bit of a more serious question now. Okay, if you were a principal of a college for a week, what would you implement?
I would honestly like to go back to seeing a sports union at the college. I would implement that. I think it was so big when I first joined, and like I've got mates who study at different colleges and different unis, and obviously me being at Abertay, like our sports are huge. There's so many teams. I mean, we've got judo, tennis, badminton, volleyball, football. Anything you can think of, it's there. I've had a mate who studied at Perth College. And there was loads of stuff to get involved with as well. And then when you come here, there isn't really any opportunity. Well, now there's not really any opportunity to take part in that sort of thing. So it'd be good to see that come back. I mean, there is stuff to do. I mean, the learning engagement team do a lot, but it would be nice stuff like the sports side and that back, because it's not just people seem to think oh well, I'm into football, so I'll join the club. Sports are incredible tools to build skills for life.
100%.
So it's a shame that students come here don't get to experience that.
I thoroughly enjoyed working in the sports union. So my very first official job at the college, actually, I signed up with a contract. I always worked in teaching, kind of ad hoc, but sports union was a fantastic job. It's hard work those days. You know, there's a lot of you guys as the athletes turned up, you get in the bus, you go away there, you get come back, but all the cleaning and washing up. It's tough, but it was worth it.
It's fun.
And very successful. We went to several finals, won several leagues. Yeah, so that'd be a good change, I think. You talked obviously about wanting to work in sports fitness. I have an idea that area you want to work in. Was this your first career choice?
No, it wasn't. I've always sort of wanted to go into sort of like teaching and you could technically say coaching, but it wasn't in the subject of PE. So at school, I really enjoyed science. I had a great science teacher, and I thought, well, this is interesting me. I got really into it, and then I sort of fell out of love with it when classes changed and teachers changed, and I got into English. You know, I've always been alright at English, you know, when it comes to, you know, creative writing and stuff like that. I've always enjoyed it, analysing text. I don't know why, I just always got it. You know, I know a lot of people struggle with that, but I don't know why my brain was...
It just clicked.
Yeah, it was. You could see imagery and all stuff like that. It was great. And then I thought, you know, my qualifications didn't really help either, you know, to get into, you know, maybe like a teacher training programme for it. And then I went into PE. Crash hired it in 6th year because I thought, well, you know what, I might want to join the police. So that was another thing. So I thought the police, and then like that only lasted for about a month or two, and then I thought, well, maybe not. And I thought, God, this is getting worrying now because I'm getting close to the end of school. What am I going to do? And my mate said to me, well, why don't you teach PE? I was like, oh yeah, why don't I do that? So that got me in my sport and fitness journey. And I thought, right, I'm going to be a PE teacher. And then I came to college, which I'd never any intention of coming. I thought I'd get to school, really good qualification, go off to uni, done, right? Simple. But that didn't happen. And then I started working at the college, and I thought, this is great. Why do I want to leave? You know? And I'm thinking, well, lecturing might be on the cards. And then, but thinking about that, you know, if a job was to come up, why wouldn't I apply for it? It's not a lecturer job, because I love working here. It's been great. So yeah, working at the college is what I want to do.
And obviously that wasn't your goal initially, and you've come to that point. Was there a specific point at which you realised this is what I want to do? This is my niche. This is the place I want to be.
It was sort of. I think it sort of peaked. The interest was peaked when I joined in my course, just to see how different it was and how much you were actually learning, because it was interesting at that point. And then as like the year progressed, and I thought, yeah, this is it. And then obviously to like where I am now, it just sort of grew as soon as I joined HNC. And at this point right here now, this is it.
So during your studies?
Yeah.
I suppose you're fortunate because you were in a job and
exactly.
So you kind of knew you were getting the studies but how to apply it, and you immersed yourself in it.
Definitely.
Absolutely. What's the favourite part about your job?
The best part of my job is I get paid to play sport. That is what the best part of my job is. So I'm the lead coach at our after school clubs, which is quite new. It started just after Christmas, and it's grown and grown and grown. So every Wednesday night, we've got 2 sessions. So we do P1 to 3, and then after that we do 4 to 7, and it's great fun. You know, we work with a lot of student coaches who help us out, so they get to learn, you know, about coaching and, you know, how to handle kids and that sort of stuff. So when they're like, you know, lead coaching and that, you know, I watch them and see how they're doing, but I get to take part in the session as well. So it could be football, handball, or whatever it is, and I'm there, I've got my bow on, I'm on a team. It's great fun, right? And I sit and think, I'm getting paid for this. It's great. So yeah, and then when our holiday camps come around, October, summer, and Easter, that is playing sport. There is, you know, not sort of much coaching, you know. At the after school clubs I do a lot of coaching as well, and I will take part, but at the camps it's sort of just let's go. It's great fun.
I think you're bang on. It's one thing I definitely miss. Obviously I've obviously started the course a lot longer than you, a lot older than you. But as the coaching journey progresses, you end up just eventually working with, well, not always, but typically older people, you know. Because you get better as a coach, and obviously start thinking about long term, what are my career goals, and that's where the money is, unfortunately. I mean, there's not a lot of money in coaching kids. But I do miss that. I miss taking part in it, just having a kick around with them and just having fun. Now I'm coaching sessions and guys in the gym lifting when I'm coaching them, and I just want to lift with them.
Yeah.
You can't, because you've got to focus on them. And
it's a great job with being at uni as well. You know, you work hard, you know, during the week and that, and then when it comes to a holiday, it's like, oh, it's time to go.
Yeah.
You know, I was saying, so I work with a girl called Shania who does like a lot of the background stuff and that. The clubs wouldn't happen if it wasn't for her. She's great. So we've been going out to schools and that. Yeah, if she's studied at college as well, so she does like all the background stuff. We've been out at schools advertising and doing sessions, so it wouldn't run without her. But yeah, it's just fantastic. I said to her, like, I can't wait for summer.
Yeah.
Can't wait. I don't know why. We were standing outside Eastern in the pouring rain, getting drenched, trying to take these goals out of our cars. I cannot wait for summer. It's just like, why? It's like, I don't know. Yeah. Just the sun, you get in the pool. It's just fun.
There's a great atmosphere about summer camps now. I remember obviously in the sports union role, because it was variable contract, in the summer, coordinating the summer camps myself and Dan, and being so jealous, like sitting in the office, just kind of not waiting for a coach to mess up. If a coach mess up, you've got to deal with that. That's my job. But you guys are actually in there having fun with them, you know. And I'm kind of like, I want to go along, but you've got to kind of separate yourself a little bit, because you've got to be seen as separate from it, so you can have some sort of weight when something goes wrong. But yeah, the summer camps are such good energy about it, you know. It's
so fun. I mean, the best part is dodgeball. So the last one we did obviously was Easter. So there's always, since I've been there, there's always coaches v kids.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we'll do a couple of games and that. We got beat at Easter. First time we ever got beat by the kids. Right, it was more sort of like bench ball. So like when you get put out, you go and stand on the bench, and you got to catch the ball and get back in. And somebody got put out, and then somebody else got put out. Then I got put out, and we're thinking, oh geez, we're going to get beat here. We'd never been close to getting beat ever before.
You got complacent. That's what
it's like that. So I think it was Shania who was last, and we're like, oh my god, throw the ball at last, and I can't remember what kid, but they just launched it right at our leg, and she was like, this hasn't happened. Yeah. We've not been beat, so like, right, we need to go again. We're not ending here. So so the next game was launched, and we went to 6 minutes. Oh yeah,
always
definitely.
Maybe this is answering this question, maybe not. But what is the most embarrassing or funny moment of your career so far? So I'm really bad with names, right? Okay. When I teach my supported ed class on a Friday, it took me a while to learn their names. Okay. There's still some kids at the after school club who I can't remember their name for the life of me, right? So we have our student coaches in, and I can't remember, this was a good few weeks into the programme, and she was standing next to me, and I called her by the wrong name, and you know, she asked like, what, who's that? I was like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. No, it got worse than that. I couldn't even remember her name to go, oh sorry, by the way, this is that. So I sort of had to just sort of play it out and sort of like not ignore her, but sort of just ignore the situation. It was so bad. I was like, at the end I was like, oh yeah, I remember her name now. Yeah.
it was so bad.
Yeah, it's awkward, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
I've been in a situation before. I'm not terrible in it, but I'm not great, so I've been there before, and it's really awkward. You try to rack your brain whilst you're in this awkward situation. I've been there.
It's awful.
On the opposite side of that, what would you say you're most proud of to date for your career?
Sort of to where I am, you know, at the start I knew that uni was not looking likely due to school qualifications, but now I'm about to finish my honours year and I'm about to graduate in the summer, which, you know, I didn't think I'd get to. So I'm really proud that I've sort of stuck in, especially, you know, with the sort of things that we faced, like the pandemic, the cyber attacks and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm really proud that's got me to where I am.
Well done. Looking forward to you graduating.
Yeah, can't wait.
What's been your biggest light bulb moment, so in terms of so far in your career, studies, whatever it is, your journey from beginning at D&A to where you're now, what's been that kind of the penny dropping moment? What's been the most valuable thing you've learned?
It's sort of don't stop learning. So I mean, obviously I learn on my course, but I do a lot of volunteering with the sport ed department, just, you know, sort of get on track with lecturing and stuff like that, and it's really fun. So yeah, always sort of take every opportunity you get. I mean, I've done that since day one when that job came up in the sports union. You know, my tennis knowledge wasn't great at the time. I wasn't particularly a great player, but I thought, you know what's the harm in trying? And yeah, just take every opportunity you get. One thing that I would say to people is who are on courses who are struggling just now is find stuff that you like. Don't let it take over your life. Me and my mate, he does social science at Aberdeen, and he did his HNC here, and we both say, uni's nowhere near as fun as what college is. And we sit there and we say, see, if I was to do first year at university all the way to fourth year, I doubt I would have got here, because it just wasn't enjoyable. So find things that you enjoy doing and make time for them, because if you don't, it will get a lot harder.
Yeah. Nice message to the students.
Yeah.
Very fully. Right, this is the last part of the podcast. Okay, so our would you rather segment.
Right, okay.
Now these aren't your typical would you rather questions. We tried to go for quite challenging ones.
Right, okay.
So
right.
Here we go. First one. Would you rather go back in time to visit your past ancestors,
Right.
or go into the future to see your future family? And why? Justify it.
Right, okay.
That's uni for you, is it? Justify.
Yeah, justify. I would actually like to go back.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've always been history was one of my favourite subjects at school, so it would be good to go back. Not only do you get to meet your ancestors, but you get to experience that sort of time in history.
Okay.
So it depends how far back you want to go. So you could see it everywhere. You could
How
live.
far back would you go?
I don't know.
Specific time period you'd go back to? Or?
I've always been interested in the war. So like the Second World War, times of the First World War. A lot of my history was around about the time of the Liberal Reform Acts and the Boer War, so sort of the start of the 1900s.
Okay.
I would like to go back and sort of see what it was like back then. Yeah.
Next one. Would you rather have more time or more money?
More money.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Student life, isn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's sort of like, well, see, if you had more money, you can then sort of use the time better, I think. So when you got to the end of time, you think, yeah, I've done pretty well.
So you're going to buy time?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Okay. Would you rather have access to a rewind button or a pause button?
Probably rewind. Yeah, because you can go back to funny moments in life.
True.
And sort of good times. Whereas pause, you just stop in the moment.
Yep. Maybe you want to enjoy the moment. You know?
That's true. But then if you've got rewind, you can relive it as many
That's
times
true.
as
There
you
you
want.
go. Would you rather be able to speak to all animals or speak all languages?
I would rather speak all languages. Yeah. Sort of my music background. So like I'm really into my music, and that's why I listen to a German band, and it'd be great to be able to understand every single thing that they say rather than just the odd.
So you can immerse yourself in it.
Yeah, definitely.
This would be an interesting one.
Right.
Would you rather win an Olympic gold medal or a Nobel Peace Prize?
Oh, I'd rather win an Olympic medal. That's probably not the right answer, but no, I would. That would be an amazing feeling. I don't know, probably in sport of tennis, probably that would be incredible.
You are who you are. So you're a sports person.
Exactly,
You know?
yeah.
Olympic gold medal's the peak. So
What a thing to put on your CV as well.
Oh. Last one.
Right.
Would you rather explore space or explore the ocean?
I think space. Sort of, it's more sort of adventurous. You know, the less is known about space than what the ocean is. I feel space is infinite.
Yeah.
So
True. Yeah. The ocean's definitely finite from what we know.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks very much, Matthew. It's been a
Thank you very
pleasure.
much. Perfect.